The reason we're here today is to talk about YNW Melly, specifically YNW Melly's troubled history as a rapper, and some new trouble he seems to have found himself in, and how it links back to his manager and a slew of cases that have popped up over the past couple of months. Could one of the biggest upcoming stars in rap be the mastermind behind 3 murders? YNW Melly is without a doubt one of the baddest dudes in modern rap, but how so? Who is he, and what made him this way? And where is he now? YNW Melly is obviously just a stage name. His real name is actually much scarier than his rap moniker. He was born with the name Jamel Maurice Demons in Gifford, Florida. And no, we're not just putting a race past that. His last name is Demons. Like, you know, the spawn of hell. Anyway, that's just a little fun coincidence. He grew up pretty poor with a young mother, and it wasn't long before he got himself mixed up with the Bloods. Although it's not known exactly who his father is, the rapper Dante Taylor claims it's him. 2015 was the year that Melly first started posting his music to popular music sharing site SoundCloud. But it was also during this year that his life took a turn for the worse. At about 16, he was arrested for shooting into a group of students near his school. He was charged with aggravated battery, aggravated assault, and obviously discharging a firearm in public. As a result of this little incident, he found himself serving a few months in prison. In 2016, he picked up the name Melly. YNW is an initialism for the name of the music collective he ran with. Also a part of this music collective were Anthony YNW Sack Chaser Williams, Christopher YNW Juvie Thomas Jr., and Cortland YNW Bortland Henry. In 2017, he released his first mixtape entitled Collect Call, featuring a few pretty well-known underground rappers. In 2018, a few big things happened for him. Some good, some bad. He also dropped a few singles that maxed out at around 26 million views around the time of their release. Moving forward, he would eventually have features from the likes of Kanye West and T Grizzly. He also had features from Lil B, who's pretty much one of the major progenitors of any kind of meme rap or cloud rap stuff that would come out later after he paved the way. After his arrest, which we'll discuss later, he revealed that he had like 6 songs recorded with Young Thug, and he also had a song with Juice WRLD that was the 3rd song that Juice put out posthumously. Even though he's not talked about too often, he's genuinely important. Not only that, but he also had a track nearly go gold, and if it keeps going the way it's been going, even in spite of his current legal situation, it might even hit platinum. In addition to his commercial success, another aspect of his life was suffering. His freedom, or, lack thereof, because he stayed locked up. Anyway, the first time he got arrested as an adult during the summer of 2018, he was caught with a little bit of something to smoke, not cigarettes, a weapon, paraphernalia, and ammunition. This racked up a few charges for him and was a big part of the reason a lot of his earlier music was released while he was locked up in the joint. Not even a year later, he got on possession charge once again, resulting in even more jail time, meaning that he really had no time to himself to be working on new music or building a name for himself. These charges aren't why we're here talking about him today, though. Anthony Williams and Christopher Thomas Jr. were close YNW associates of Melly. They were pretty close to one another, with Melly even describing them as being like family. On February 12th of 2019, Melly was charged with their murder in the 1st degree. It was all a setup, you see. Melly and another YNW guy, Cortland Henry, made sure the whole thing looked like some ops had pulled a drive-by on Williams and Thomas, with Melly even driving them to the hospital afterwards so it looked like he had done everything he could. The next day, he decided to turn himself in, either because the stress was too much or he knew that eventually he'd be found out and could catch a case for the murder anyway. Before he went in to come clean about what happened, or so it seemed, he made a post on Facebook explaining his side of the story. No, I didn't get locked up in Washington, but I am turning myself in today. A couple months ago, I lost my 2 brothers by violence, and now the system wants to find justice. Unfortunately, a lot of rumors and lies are being said, but no worries. God is with me and my brother, YNW Bortland. And we want y'all to remember, it's a YNW family. I love you. While we're still not really sure what's going on here, this doesn't sound like the most earnest statement. It's not a confession or anything like that. The fact that he points out so many times that YNW is a family seems a tad bit suspicious to me. This isn't the only major crime he's been accused of at this point, though. At the beginning of 2019, it was also reported by Complex Magazine that he was also under an investigation for the shooting of the sheriff of Gifford. The sheriff, Gary Chambliss, was off duty at the time, and as of now, his death is still unsolved. But something else that makes this a little interesting is that he's not the only one suspected in the crime. The other person who's being investigated in the crime is the same guy who helped him cover up the murders for the 2 YNW associates who were found dead. The fact that the 2 of them are again suspected really seems like maybe they did it. After hearing about the fact that 6ix9ine was released from jail after contracting bronchitis compounded with his struggle with asthma, Melly decided he was about to pull the same thing and get out for at least a little bit, probably so he could, do the dash and get up out of there. The judge denied his request. This was a pretty good shot, but it seems like it didn't work out in the long run. Now that we got all the facts about YNW Melly in general and the cases in specific, we're gonna go ahead and get into the meat of what went down with his manager. He's been with his manager since 2017, since he released his first EP, meaning that they've been a part of each other's lives for a long time. For him to just flip on Melly like he did is pretty crazy move to make. That being said, it's been brothers against brothers in this whole case if Melly actually did what it seems like he did. It seems like it's gonna go that way. If Melly's manager has been this close to him the whole time, he must have had some time to get to know everyone else, right? In a genius interview that YNW Melly took part in, he explained that he's not an actual murderer. The song was Murder on My Mind. Everything is figurative instead of being an actual murderer. See, it's all a metaphor for killing the game, etc. Thing is though, he pauses when he explains that he ain't no man murderer. That to us says that there's more than meets the eyes here, right? I mean, it's truly unfortunate that such a great talent got involved with this kind of life, but it seems like that's just the way it goes sometimes. Where it stands now is that YNW Melly is facing the death penalty. The law in Florida mandates that this is the punishment that fits the crime. While we're not going to sit here and debate the ethics of this move, that's just the way the law works in Florida. The cops have also released documents saying that Melly was for sure at the scene of the crime. They have the evidence to put him there. Not only that, but they investigated the bullet holes found from the outside of the vehicle and decided they were only made that way to look like there had been a drive-by. Once again, Melly's manager hit up DJ Academics to talk about how everything went down. He said, bro, Melly clearly turned himself in. Obviously, no one's in jail because of me, obviously. If a situation happened where there's a lot of things unraveling, you got the police, you got the detectives, you got the prosecutors, you got everybody trying to figure things out. So I'm Melly's day-to-day manager. When these incidents happen, of course the first person they're gonna put a microscope on is me. I'm with him every day. I'm moving him around. When they came not only for suspects. They tried to, of course, throw me in there. He also explained, if you clearly look, then you can see they came to my house. They had a warrant, they broke down my door, took items, and you have other individuals that's cooperating with the police and saying Track was involved. He had the weapons, he got rid of this, which are all theories, of course. It's just unfortunate because my name is getting dragged into all of the mess around the board. Police even initially was like, the manager is deceiving the case, he's lying, he's giving false information so the narrative could change, he says. Everybody at this point is looking at me from the perspective of just legally, like this man got something to do with it. He's involved, he's gotta be a suspect. So what's happened? When Melly turned himself in, I have his items, I have his phone, I got everything. So with the house, the warrant coming, they searching the house and everything. My lawyer comes to me and tells me, hey, look, I'm not gonna lie to you. It is getting to the point where you're about to be a suspect. So you have nothing to hide. You doing your job. So they need to understand that everything that happened the day after the incident was you working. So we need to show the contract for the shows, which was in Texas and Carolina and all types of places. So there it is. It's not like he said he did or didn't flip on Melly, but at the same time, this isn't a game, you know what I'm saying? It's not like absolutely nothing happened. And he's also came out and explicitly said that he spent a lot of time with Melly. He's just been out here with the dude, and it's getting to the point where there's nothing really he can avoid doing to be a person of interest in this case. While some could say that he might have flipped so he could avoid being a big player in the investigation, he's kind of implicated in the situation regardless. This might seem like he's doing his best to cover this boy, but at this point, it seems like it's not going down like that, son. So, what are we feeling on this one? We're not making any statements on how this one actually went down, but at the same time, it kind of feels like we all know what's going on here. But is Melly's lawyer capping, or is he actually being upfront about everything? Was Melly actually there like the police say, or was Melly set up by some ops? Anyway, if you want more rap content, go ahead and give us a like, leave a comment, share, subscribe, man, and let us know what's up. And as always, go ahead and have a fantastic day. And don't forget, keep it RIZZLE.